Welcome to Kevin Dale Photography, where I take you on my journey through photography. On today's episode, we're going to be doing an in-depth review of the Spark Z3 Flash from Viltrox. Welcome to today's episode. If you're not familiar with Kevin Dale Photography, we do gear reviews, tips, techniques, and tutorials, and sometimes we dive into film. If any of that sounds appealing to you, click the subscribe button below. For all of you who are back to Kevin Dale Photography, welcome back. And for all you where this is your first time here at the beginning of every episode, I ask for donations to BIG, which is an organization that helps intellectually disabled adults adapt to jobs in the real world. Also want to thank all of you who donate to my super thanks link. With those donations, I review more equipment and then hopefully help you all with your buying decisions. But to the subject of today's episode. So here I am holding the Viltrox Z3 on-camera TTL flash. Viltrox is marketing the design as cyberpunk inspired. Personally, it feels more like an early 2000s nostalgic vibe. Halo 2, a tricked out Alienware PC, Mountain Dew, maybe a carton of goldfish crackers, and of course you gotta have that AOL instant messenger going off in the background as well. If you know, you know. Now, I'll be honest, I don't really care what my flash looks like, and that's probably a good thing because this one definitely has a unique look. You'll either like it or you don't like it. What I care about is how well it performs out in the field and hopefully improve my photography. I already reviewed its non-TTL sibling, link in the description, card above. This version works universally across all different cameras. However, this guy is different because it has TTL. You need to buy the version specifically made for your camera system. TTL has to speak the language of your camera. Today, we'll be testing the Fuji model since that's the one Viltrox sent me, but don't click away if you shoot on another system. The performance is identical across all brands. The only difference is compatibility. Its non-TTL sibling proved to be great value for the money, and we need to see if the TTL version can make the same claim. So let's take the Z3 out into the field and see how easy it is to use and what kind of image quality it delivers. But first, let's talk about the specs. The Viltrox Z3 Spark is an on-camera TTL flash made for the Canon, Fuji, Nikon, and Sony systems. It comes in both gunmetal gray and tundra green colors. It has a guide number of 3 at 0.9 meters at ISO 100. Its two modes are manual and TTL. It has a built-in USB-C port and an internal rechargeable battery. It has a flash duration between 30,000th and 3,000th of a second. Its recycle time at full power is approximately 1 second. It has a power range of 1/64 to 1/1. Its dimensions are 3.1 by 2.6 by 2.2 inches or 78.4 by 67.2 by 55.9 millimeters. It comes in at a weight of 5.1 ounces or 144 grams, and it comes in at a street price of $55 US. Alright, in this first example, you can see the flattest light in the galaxy. It's on camera. I'm using the original Z1 non-TTL. You can even see the shadow being cast from my lens at the bottom of the frame. So I'm going to set this Z1 to 1/64th power. I'm going to take my Z3 off camera and set it to about half power. I'm going to grab my XH2. First and foremost, you can see that when I trigger that Z1 in slave mode, it's also triggering the Z3. Now I'm going to take my shot with my XH2, and now you can see that the flattest light in the galaxy goes to the most dramatic light in the galaxy. All right, so for our next test with this Viltrox Z3 Spark, we're gonna shoot some shots here in my studio. We'll do some portraits and we'll see what kind of shots we can get with this Viltrox Z3 Spark. So I'm gonna be completely honest here. On-camera flash isn't exactly my favorite thing in the world because it's mounted on the camera and you don't get a lot of really interesting angles that cast good shadows on your subjects. Nonetheless, a lot of people like this paparazzi look, so for those of you who like it, this flash will absolutely deliver that to you. Now, I'm happy to report that I did get to display some of my work at an exhibit. Those are my shots on the left. And while I was at this exhibit, it gave me the excuse to put this Viltrox Z3 Spark on my XE2 from Fuji. And so as you can see right here, I took some candid shots of everybody getting sauced up at the party. And I think it did a pretty good job. That's kind of what it's intended to do. I also got hired to shoot a college graduation. And so I just snapped a few shots to show off that guide number, the range, how I can do candid shots, and I think it did a pretty good job. But let's go back to my studio and let me tell you how I feel about this Z3 Spark from Viltrox. All right, so let's talk about this flash. Let's discuss the things I liked and didn't like about it. First, we're going to start with the areas where I feel like it could be a little bit better. I can only speak to my experience using this on my APS-C Fuji X-mount cameras, and while I'm not a product engineer, I honestly feel like this flash is bigger than it needs to be. I would have preferred a slimmer, lower profile design with less depth. I've tested other flashes on this channel that manage that form factor, so I know it's possible. Maybe the size ties into the design aesthetic they were going for, but on my Fuji XE, XT, and X100 bodies, it just feels a little awkward. To be clear, it's not heavy, it's actually quite bright, but it's noticeably bulkier than I'd like. Staying on the subject of aesthetics, you're either going to like how this looks or you're not. Personally, I'm into minimalism, and the design of this flash is anything but minimal. It's busy, flashy, no pun intended, and it doesn't really complement the clean, classic silver look of my Fuji cameras. I mean, I don't know any camera manufacturer that makes a halo green camera body, so this color choice kind of feels random. If you decide to pick one of these up, I'd at least recommend getting it in the gunmetal gray version. Even then, that whole transparent plastic, see the insides vibe feels more like an Alienware computer than a Fuji camera, and that's just not my thing. That's a con for me, but aesthetics are subjective, so you might feel differently. Now, as a working professional, I found that this flash just doesn't offer enough features for my workflow. To be fair, it's clearly marketed toward beginners or casual shooters who just want a simple way to light up a scene. So, depending on who you are, this could go either way. For me, it's a con because I need advanced features like TCM, multi-mode, and other options you'd typically find in a professional TTL flash. But if you're just starting out and want something that takes some of the guesswork out of flash photography, then this feature set is actually a pro for you. All right, now let's move on to the positives. This flash is definitely powerful enough for what it's designed to do. If you're at an event, hanging out with friends, or taking portraits indoors, it's going to get the job done. The Fresnel is bright, responsive, and delivers enough output for casual and non-professional situations. Another big plus is that it supports TTL. If you're new to flash photography and intimidated by shooting in manual, TTL is your best friend. Just set it to auto and the flash will take care of the exposure for you. It's a great way to learn and focus on your composition and camera settings without worrying about dialing in your power manually. The control layout is another win. It's simple and straightforward. You've got a 3-way toggle for auto, manual, and off, a power adjustment dial, a 3-way switch for slave modes, and a test fire button. That's it. It's clean, it's intuitive, and it's easy to learn, which makes it perfect for beginners who want to start experimenting with flash photography without being overwhelmed. You can also use it off camera in slave mode. It'll trigger when it detects another flash firing, whether it's from another Z3 or a completely different brand. In this case, I'm just using my AD100 that was laying around, and it's reacting to the flash from the AD100. That gives you some creative flexibility because honestly, on-camera flash isn't always the most flattering look. In fact, 99% of my work involves off-camera lighting because I just prefer the results. This flash also charges via USB-C, which is great. It's convenient. It doesn't require any proprietary charging system like a battery, and most of us already have plenty of USB-C cables laying around. Definitely a pro. You also get a diffuser in the box, which is a nice touch, especially for beginners. If you're new to lighting, a diffuser softens the output, which reduces harsh shadows and helps create a more flattering look for skin tones. It's a small accessory that adds creative flexibility and value to this purchase. And speaking of value, that's probably the biggest pro here. At just $55, you're getting a TTL capable flash that you can use both on and off camera with simple controls and a user-friendly layout. That's a solid deal for someone who's just starting out. That said, you should ask yourself how quickly you might outgrow it. If you just need something simple for casual use, you'll be perfectly fine. But if you want a smaller flash with a few more features like a touchscreen interface, the Godox IT30 Pro is worth looking at. It's only about $15 more and offers more functionality for those who want to grow into their flash photography. So, overall, this flash does exactly what it claims to do. It's accessible, affordable, and easy to use. It's not for professionals, but it's perfect for beginners who want to learn without getting lost in menus or settings. If you're interested in picking up this Viltrox Z3 TTL flash, I'll leave a link in the description below for all camera brands. That is it for today's episode. Have you purchased this flash? Tell me about it in the comments below. Did you go in another direction? Tell me about that in the comments below. And if you're a fan of this channel, I humbly ask you to click the subscribe button below. And until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.